What up? What up? Yo, yo, yo. Just gonna wait for the chat to fill a little bit. Yeah, let me know if the volume is too high, music or whatever. What up? What you're looking at, Michael, is the cycle. This is the cycle that's being repeated every 2 months. And just when the chat fills up a little bit, I'm going to talk about what happened yesterday, just so people are aware. It's going to be this section right here. Hey, Justin. Hey, Michael. Hey, Chris. Hey, Sheesh. Hey, Raphael. Hello, Chris. Hello, Romin Patel. Hello, Axel. Hello, Peesh Pesh. Mr. Fumble. Hello. Let's do it, guys. Hello, Keith. What's up? Let's finish off the Friday on good terms. Alien Days. What up, Justin? Haas, my guy. Justin Haas is like my best friend. We go way back. Hey, Sonny. Hello. Thank you, Mr. Fumble. Appreciate that, man. So I'm gonna give the chat a little bit of time, maybe like 15 minutes, just to catch up here. And then for now, we're just gonna kind of stare at the charts, see what's going on. Let's go on Friday. That was right. What am I doing? There we go. Andrew, hello. Keith. Yo, yo. So it looks like they're stretching this pattern out. What do you mean by that, man? I'm moving these things. 3 to 3. There you go. Ah, I messed it up. All right, I guess we'll just. I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you guys have if you want to throw them down. Chris Clues. Any chance you could explain Booksy's recent chart he tweeted? I don't. Let me see. So Booksy does a little bit more on the, he does like fractal studies and stuff like that. So he does a lot of, more intraday sort of pattern, decomposing, I guess you can say. Like he really goes in depth on how patterns move within, the day, intraday. So it's, the minute chart, the 5-minute chart, stuff like that. And then he takes those findings and sort of applies it on a macro level as well. So, that's a lot of, that's a different way that I'm approaching it, at least. So he has a way of doing things, when looking at AMC. So, for me specifically, guys, like I've been following this cycle, so this is what's been working for me. And I've on Twitter I posted earlier the fast Fourier transform, and that was basically explaining how that helped me find this cycle. So yeah, I think we just have a difference in how we look at the charts, and there's no really wrong way to look at it. If that makes sense. If something is working for you, that's fine. But if it becomes if it becomes a way in which you're constantly shifting around or moving what should be happening, then I wouldn't really go look at things from that approach, if that makes sense. Like, that's why it's important. Like, I know that a lot of people within that community do look at things from a Wyckoff perspective, and I've said many times I agree that the Wyckoff's perspective on a more macro level can sort of, I guess, wrap the overall picture as to how a pattern should behave in the way it's structured, but with short-term moves, in my opinion, I don't think the Wyckoff perspective is the most useful. And that, like I said, guys, that's just an opinion. It's not me attacking the Wyckoff perspective. It's just, it's not the most helpful, just looking at it from intraday terms. Because I did talk about last week how when we were looking at the charts, a lot of people thought that this was the spring, is what they call in the Wyckoff. When you look at it from a Wyckoff perspective, this is what they said the spring was. And a spring is followed by this sort of pattern, which, here, I'll show you. It's a path pattern. So it will do something like this. Like if this was a spring, it would have looked like this, right? Spring is very tied up like that, creating that, and then going up from there. And then you do your LPS or whatever, and then the SOS is basically what comes in after that, which leads to the overall squeeze in the end, right? But the problem with this is that predicting that, or sort of assuming that something's going to happen in that way when it doesn't, it's dangerous. This was back in December 15th, so you have all this time to assume that, and then it doesn't happen. Well, that's what I'm saying. On a macro level, yes. On a macro level, sure, you can look at it that way if you want to. On a short-term level, I don't think so. Any patterns that I've found that would put us to $18? So the only pattern, man, and this is what I said. If you guys look at my video on every week, I post a scenario video, So I had my bullish, my bearish, and my neutral chart. My bearish chart, I said that we were going to come back down to this $21 area and finish the week at 24. So right now we're sitting at 22.57. So we're about $2 off. But it was structured in this way where they would bring us down to these levels, and then on Thursday and Friday we would come up, and then Friday again they would bring us back down, because that's typically what happens on Fridays. The only Friday in like weeks and months that we've actually gotten up has been the 17th of December. That was the only Friday that I can tell here from a really long time that we have done that. So also, guys, let me know if the channel is choppy or anything. I did have trouble a couple days ago on that, and I think I fixed it, but just want to make sure it's not repeating itself in that way. How do we know you're not Ken Griffin? I mean, do I sound like Ken Griffin, bruh? You funny, Chris. You funny. Okay, we got 45. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna talk about this because a lot of people have been asking me, and I wanna clear the air here. Okay, this right here, so you guys know in the future, I'm gonna go to the 30-minute chat. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit here on the music. So this is very important, guys. When the cycle is happening, if you guys saw my video on cycle sessions, okay, I talked about how within the cycle, according to the volume coming in, and this has to do with FOMO, any news catalyst, anything like that coming in, obviously the cycle won't predict that. You can't just predict what's going to happen specifically unless it's planned by whatever institution that they want to release this information, which that could have happened back here. But typically when heavy volume comes in, the cycle, like I said, would inflict this volume and then shift around the algorithm. Okay? So that is just how this works, guys. This specific pattern right here, that is the yellow pattern. Obviously, it's not following the structure of the cycle, right? Everything else is, though. I mean, you guys can see clearly everything else is following the same way, inverse or identical. But when this volume comes in unexpected, and we were following GameStop, obviously, because they're sympathy plays. Like, if GameStop goes up, we're going to go up. So this has to shift around the algorithm now, which means once this volume comes in, sometimes what will happen is you will see these other patterns, these other spikes within the cycle shift around, meaning that if coming Monday, we might not even see the spike because it happened back here. So you have to consider that, because that is something that happens when we start shifting around these sessions, right? So here's a prime example of this, okay? Because people were asking me, like, why is there a yellow pattern there? Like, is that flipped? Is that inverse? I'm like, no, dude. The blue at any time I have these patterns laid out in the way they are, if I label blue or yellow, yellow is always going to be unexpected volume and the opposing colors. So if it's blue, that means it's inverse to this red section here. If it's blue back here, then I'm going to highlight it red, right? Nothing is done on these guys. This is just a representation of the cycle in the way it's being displayed on the current chart. Okay, so another example of this unexpected volume that I did talk about a couple days ago was this pattern right here. Okay, so let's see where it is. Is it this guy? Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't know why the heck that's under there. So this is another example of what I'm talking about. This, unexpected. Oh my God, bro, come on. What are you doing? Where is this? Okay, I'm gonna highlight this again because it's somewhere in my object tree over here, and I need it to be in front so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is unexpected volume. This was a news catalyst, okay? So if you go back to September 30th, that was when Adam Aaron, I believe, he exercised a bunch of contracts, a bunch of option contracts. So obviously the cycle is going to inflict this because, well, that's unexpected. He did that, and the cycle wasn't tracking that. That's not what the cycle was tracking. So what happened was here you can see that this happened first, and then you see this pattern back over here. We were supposed to have that spike. That didn't happen, okay? So you have to look at it that way. You have to look at it, if there's some sort of drastic volume coming in, the algorithm is going to shift that. It looks like a seahorse. Yeah, it does look like a seahorse. A little pretty seahorse. Look at that. My little pretty seahorse. It's the seahorse pattern. Love it. Yeah, so and look, I mean, if you look at it from macro level here, all of these patterns look nice, right? Like these flip patterns, you can tell that they're inverse to each other, but this specific pattern right here looks goofy, right? And that is because of that volume, that unexpected volume that will shift the algorithm. The time frame is not going to change. And I said that, guys, the time frame stays the same. And that is why these blue patterns repeat themselves exactly 2 months apart, okay? If the time frame shifted, then these would not be repeating themselves every 2 months. So that's something to consider, right? And that's just an explanation. Like I said, guys, a lot of people were asking, like, is this part of the cycle? This is normal. Completely normal. Does Doge line still look the same as your last video? Can I show it now? Yeah, I got you. Let's see if it looks the same with this. So look at that. Ha. Oh my. That's incredible. That is incredible. Honestly, guys, like the whole Doge thing, I mean, like this caught me by surprise. Like this was not expected at all. But yeah, it seems like we are currently still tracking that. And I made a video about this. I said I would look into it and see, kind of figure out the whole cycle movement with these other stocks, because it's been known that there's multiple cycles with meme stocks, manipulated stocks. Okay, Doge is a crypto, but it's one of them. They almost manipulate these stocks against each other, because this is tracking what is the 2020 pattern of AMC, and this is not a fractal. This is in the same time frame, that in which AMC ran up and everything. So this is also crazy, man. It's also crazy to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to AMC though, because just to kind of show that and close this guy up. And I will, like I said, guys, go over that stuff in the future. Looks like a mushroom, a little mushroom. That's the point, guys. I'm using all these colors and patterns so that you guys can familiarize yourself with these specific patterns that are repeating themselves, and know that, you know, with how the cycle is structured, how we can expect these to continue, right? I am going to talk about something when maybe in like about 30 minutes or closer to market close. I'm going to talk about something really important that I found. And I kind of want everybody to be here for that, because it's pretty important. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Looks like. So I really don't think that we're going to see any more, at least in the short term. I don't think we're going to see any more down movement. The reason I say this is because the way we bounced off of this level right here, okay, it is just so this volume comes in. We have these option expiration dates coming up for the January 2021, which in the short term is considered bullish, but not bullish enough to make us like squeeze, in my opinion. Okay. I don't think that we're just going to shoot up and then squeeze before the 21st. But I do think that with the amount of options that are in the money, that will cause some sort of covering or some sort of pressure to the upside, which means I don't think we're going to keep going down. If we did come down, it would be in the short term and it would be quick, and then we would bounce off. So I really want to see what's going to happen here on the 10th of January, because we have this spike coming up, and if it doesn't happen, guys, you know why. You know why, and it's going to be because of this yellow pattern. All the rip yesterday for nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's always when AMC starts to go up, guys. Even though sometimes it's you think maybe the squeeze is here or whatever, or people start hyping it up, that's fine. I mean, it's okay to hype things up when you see this movement happening, because that just spreads awareness. It spreads, hey, dude, like, look at this that's happening. Is that normal movements? It doesn't mean that we're going to squeeze, yesterday, but it's important to tell the community, hey, guys, we're going up. Like, look at this. Your normal stocks don't really work this way. So need Justin Haas, need the squeeze, bought it majority of 55. Yeah, man. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. It's gonna come, bro. Even though they prolonged this for so long, and that's something I kind of want to just cover real quick with anybody in the chat right now. But so let's go ahead and minimize all of these for now, just so you guys can see what I'm. I like to go over things, guys. It's like homework, okay? Like, I will bring stuff back so that you guys can see it, so that you're able to memorize what's sort of happening. So I like to repeat myself multiple times, so you guys know what I'm, trying to push out. So let's go ahead and just hide everything for now, like a blank chart. And yeah, so anybody obviously who bought up here, like, I can empathize with you, okay? Because, I did that. I remember doing that right here at 21 when this happened. And man, I was upset because I had put in so much money, and I was like, dude, like, when is this going to happen? Like, bro, like, so I'm with you, man. I understand. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for sure, and they're playing with our emotions. And one thing we can do is just so based off of the technicals, I did post a video earlier on Twitter talking about the delta hedging and stuff and how we broke out of all these flags, right? So right now we are in a setup in which we seem to be tracking some sort of support from this, like, you can call it like a speed line or something. And we're currently tracking that speed line. So what I want to see is, and guys, I don't like doing technicals specifically on technical analysis as much, just because I know that the cycle itself kind of guides me that way. I just want to see some support happening so that we can start looking at things from like an upside. So yeah, man, Justin, going off of your point, man, the the delta hedging is basically it's a way that these large institutions are able to hedge their positions. By hedging, that means that they reduce their losses. They reduce the amount that they basically shorted AMC. So let's say that back here at $1, right? They were trying to short AMC to $1, and then they were trying to bring it down to a penny because they thought they could do that. Well, we started to go up in November, and then they were like, we can probably bring it down even more. But then they got caught in this sort of, this mess right here. And they thought that the hype was going to die. So they kept shorting it. And they shorted it even more and even more. But the meme movement was too strong. So eventually, we caused what was this giant mini squeeze. Not even a mini squeeze. It's a mini squeeze, bro. Because, this was just a run-up. And after that, they still thought, hey, we can still bring this down. Let's try and bring this down. So the way delta hedging works is that they use options, which are contracts in which you're able to, you have the ability to exercise 100 shares per contract, depending on the contract. But most of them work off of 100 shares. And they are able to basically use this to leverage the positions that they're in, because all of the option expiration dates that have landed within this cycle have closed in on what is a flag. So when you take this and just draw a regular flag pattern, according to resistance and support lines, you will see that they all meet at option expiration dates, and they meet at the $40 contracts, which makes a lot of sense because the $40 contracts were what they had opened up back here. So those were the only ones that were available for June 18th, okay? And then they added the really high 145s and the 70s that retail bought for high premiums, and then they shorted the hell out of those. So it's just a loop, man. It's a way to hedge the position along the way so that you're minimizing all of the losses that you have with the on your short position. So it's a lot to cover, honestly, in one video. Understanding what options are first is going to be the key for sure. Can I hit you with a song? Yeah. Ciao. I got you, man. I'll hit you with a song. I'm gonna hopefully post a song early next week. So I'm working on one, and we'll get that guy done and pushed. I got you. Thank you for subbing. When green pattern. So Projector is a green pattern. The Projector is found before every run-up, every major run-up, and we are coming into that specific part of the cycle. We are coming to the Projector. But remember, the Projector can happen at any given point because it's the pattern in the whole cycle, the most imperfect pattern, which means that the algorithm is not expecting this to happen. It's the test run, remember? So it makes this pattern, and it tells the system, if there is too much volume coming in, we're going to have to set up for what is this giant run-up. But if there's too little volume, then we're going to short it. So we have to wait for the setup for that pattern to happen. So it might not even happen on the next cycle until the cycle stops tracking and a new cycle starts tracking. Kenny G in the chat. What are you doing, man? You like mayo? That's gross. I hate mayo. I hate ketchup. I hate mustard. I hate all those condiments, man. Have I ever seen Extreme Gains? Yes, I have. I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, dude, you want to do a live chat with me?" Just to sort of bounce off of each other's ideas. I wanted to get his perspective and see what he thought of mine. Fibble. I love your videos. Do you think the next run up will lead to the squeeze, or will they just stick us through another distribution? Thanks, man. So I think the next run up that we have, depending on what it is, I don't think the next specific run up. Are you talking like a run up like this, or are you talking about like a short term run up? Because if you're talking about something short term, then I would say it looks something like this. But long term, maybe you mean like the June run up. Do I collab with Astro? I don't collaborate with him. I know Astro. We've talked on Twitter, not specifically, not directly or anything, just over Twitter on posts and stuff. Oh, like a June run up. So you're saying, when do I think the next? If I think then, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. So that's a tricky question, okay? Because it has to be the downfall of a lot of smaller hedge funds that will ultimately lead to the downfall of the big hedge funds. Because the problem here is that this movement that's happening is not being controlled by shorts. It's being controlled by large institutions, the big money institutions. So when the smaller short, it goes this way, guys. Retail, small hedge funds, then the large institutions, and then ultimately, I would say the government at that point. That would have to step in and, do whatever they do. But that's a tricky question because no one knows what's going to happen. Remember, there's always some sort of unexpected event that occurs every time we run up. Back here, they took away the buy button. Okay, no one was expecting that, so it's hard to say just because they can pull some crap when this thing meets a psychological level, and just if it does run up to a psychological level, I would say that psychological level would be the $300 level, just because based off of like Fibonacci retracement, that is the level that is the most comfortable, just on a technical perspective, and then also on a psychological perspective. So if they pulled anything, I would say that would be the level that we would go to. But if they did not pull anything, then this, like I said, would lead into a chain of events that would ultimately lead this thing to really, really crazy price levels. So you mentioned volume, but it will always be low, and it's getting diverted to the dark pool. No. So yeah, when there's low volume, that typically means that it's being traded, that there is more activity happening in the dark pool. So depending on where we are in the cycle, we can see that happening. For example, the red areas that you see here are typically the stronger, going into actually the blue, are typically going to be the stronger dark pool volume, where that is happening. So as far as that goes, right now we are technically in that place, but also you have to think about it this way. When we are in a state of basically where the momentum starts to just die out just a tiny bit, just because people are upset. People are upset that we broke out of this flag, and they're upset that we're down here. So the momentum is not going to be the same as if we were up here or up here, right? So that obviously helps these institutions because they don't have to use as much volume in the dark pools, and retail is basically helping them. By anybody selling, paper hand selling, are helping with the pressure coming down. So Doesn't mean that I think the momentum has died. By all means, I don't think that at all. I think that the momentum is still there and it's going to keep going, because now that we're at these levels and we're ready to bounce back, that's going to come back. And once it comes back, bro, when we get that set up, we get that projector, boom, boom, boom. All right, guys, I'm going to turn the volume up, the music, for a little bit. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Back. Okay, would it make sense for a lot of people to ban? So that's actually illegal. No one can come in together and buy at specific events or anything like that. If you push that narrative out there and tell people to buy, that's very, very illegal. All I can do is present my information and tell you my speculation on what I think is happening, and tell you that this isn't financial advice, because it's not. This is just for entertainment purposes. And that's it. I'm just sharing what it is that I think is happening. Roman, thank you. Appreciate you. The yellow seahorse looks similar to the first half of the green projector. Would that be due to volume influx? Let's bring that back. Let's bring the patterns back. So, let's see. This right here, you're saying that this looks like the projector? So this is the thing. Remember, the projector is a reflection of the run-up, okay? And so is the blue pattern. The blue pattern is the most important pattern in the cycle. So when you take the projector, and here's a little recap, guys. This pattern right here, this is the same thing as the run-up back here. So this, I know it's not supposed to be delayed in that. So this is over here, by the way. I should probably move that so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's probably confusing some people. So this pattern, remember, is a reflection of the run-up. Why? Because this is a test run. So it's telling the algorithm, hey, too much volume is coming in. You guys got to set up for what's about to come. And once that happens, well, this pattern, dark pool pattern, is now being reflected. So now they're covering all of these shares back here. And that's why it looks the same. So we'll put this right here. So you guys, back. Yeah, so, and then also, this specific pattern is stretched up back here, and then now here, this is where they invert that pattern, because they met that level, and now they're going to short it. So the shorting takes place in inverse form, okay? Always takes place in inverse form. You got, yo. Sup? What up, the boss? What up, man? I wonder what happened to Chris Johnson, man. That guy was, like, last stream, all over the chat. He was, like, every like, 2 minutes, man, asking a question. I was like, dude, I love this. Yeah, spice up that energy, bro, in the chat. No. William? No, man. I never push AMC to the downside. I never tell people like, hey, we're gonna come down here, because there's no point to do that. The algorithm is going to decide that in the end, depending on the volume coming in. So if you push that narrative out there, then the algorithm, that's going to favor the algorithm, and that's not what we want. Sub has the boss. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I love sharing this with you guys. Want everybody to sort of see it from a different perspective, understand what's happening in the markets. So sorry if I keep moving the chart like crazy. So if our volume forces their hand, it would benefit us to have the price lower, so that. So this is my theory in that, Matt. So what I think is happening is, remember, this is all a psychological game, okay? If they can use psychology to trick retail into helping them in their algorithm, what they're going to do is they're going to set these up at levels at which retail is either going to sell or buy, okay? And they also have to be careful in when they drop this, what specific dates they drop this, because that also benefits retail in the sense that once these become, so let's say they drop this to 15 bucks. Well, they don't want to do that right away, because if they do that right away, then a bunch of volume is going to come in because it's so cheap that would eventually cause what is this squeeze. So what they're trying to do is play this game and keep it trading sideways forever. They want to keep it trading sideways forever, so that the price is always at a weird spot. It's always at a weird price level that retail doesn't feel comfortable yet buying. And that's why a lot of people on Twitter are saying like, oh, I'm going to wait for 15. I'm going to wait for 10. I'm going to wait for 18. And that is just, that, in my opinion, the wrong way to look at it, because when you do that, you're also hoping for that case to happen. And if it doesn't happen, well, then now you missed out on the lowest lows. So it's always good to see it from a technical analysis perspective, in the sense that, well, how is this looking now? Are we going to go up in the near future? We're still in this sort of wedge pattern, almost double bottom pattern too, creating this larger W, right? So it really comes down, guys, to what's going to happen once this thing closes off. And this specific pattern has always shown that there is very low volume on the near end term. So back here, there's very, very weird low volume happening. I can bring the volume up. See? So volume right here was very heavy towards the middle, the blue pattern. Heavy volume towards the blue pattern. Medium volume here towards the blue pattern. And then right here, this August pattern that played out in the cycle, this was heavy volume, okay? And this was also a technical setup based off of the options that they were doing. So they were covering everything that they shorted back here on the red pattern. And obviously, that has to do, again, with the cycle, because they're covering all these shares. And back here, the setup is different, so they're doing something else. Charles Bain showing love. Yeah, man, that guy's he's definitely a good guy, man. Spreading that AMC love we need, right? The algos give me the impression that there's no real live trading for retail. It's almost like we don't have an effect. So, yeah, and I mean, you can look at it a couple ways. It is very, like, corrupt that we are able to find these things. Like, with the tools we have now, which is crazy, that we're able to find these things just by looking at the charts. And I mean, clearly, if you went in back here on the cycle, right, and then saw that it tracked it identical for like 2 weeks, man. Just knowing that you could do that with manipulated stocks. I mean, the fact that this pattern is playing out identical, like, doesn't that scream like corruption, bro? Like, what the heck is this? Why wouldn't the keep printing synthetics until someone stops them? So they can only do this for so long, man. At some point, like I said, margin requirements have a lot to do with this, and that is just information we don't have. That's the problem. The problem is that we don't know the margin requirements. We don't know any of that. That's all behind the doors. When you don't have that information, you can only speculate. And that's why nobody knows when the downfall of these short hedge funds and institutions that have these positions. Well, we don't have that information, so we can just speculate. And it's pretty annoying that they're able to know how retail trades, but we don't know how they trade. I mean, just come on, double standards, bro. Like, they know exactly every single move that you're making because they have access to all the clicks that you do on Robinhood and on trading or TD Ameritrade and Webull. I mean, they have access to how you're behaving, how you're trading all these, trades, and has to do a lot with the algorithmic trading and knowing all these moves before you even make them or you're about to make. I mean, that should be illegal, bro. That should be so illegal. Matt T, thank you, man. Are we now in the red down cycle? So remember, dude, we are currently in this red cycle here, yes, but it can always play out inverse whenever it feels like it, and that has to do a lot with the volume that comes in, because that's what ultimately shapes up and shifts around what's happening here. Getting paid, they seem to forget. Yeah, I mean, that's just it's the system, guys. It's just how it works sometimes. It's the people that want to know what's happening behind the doors, that want to make that change happen. The problem here is that most people that are, especially new people in the stock market, don't understand how things are happening, and they're just putting their money in without knowing what's going on behind the doors. So that's why this movement is so big right now, because people want to change that. People want to change the idea that, well, that we're tired of the system basically controlling everything, and we're not being heard. They're not taking us into consideration or anything right now. So that's just not right. I got a feeling that the last Dorito is inverted. The last Dorito. Oh my lord. What do you mean by that, bro? Dorito. What's my opinion on the run after hours yesterday? So if you guys just came in on the stream, this pattern that happened yesterday, this yellow pattern, that's unexpected volume. Go on my Twitter, I talk about this. This is, if you want to know why this happens, watch my cycle session video. These patterns are going to keep happening, and the cycle can't control. It doesn't matter. The cycle will not be able to control that, because any news catalyst that happens is unexpected. It's unexpected volumes. It's always going to be highlighted in yellow. Let's see. Why is shorting even allowed? It's allowed because it's a way to just think about it this way. If you didn't have shorting, then everything would be so volatile in the market. So the people that short, typically, like these large institutions that have the most amount of power, They are typically the market makers that provide the liquidity that we have in the market. So any like options, stuff like that, that comes from these large hedge funds, because they're basically playing against you when they write these contracts. They're saying, I don't think it's going to go to that price, so I'm going to be selling you these 145s because I don't believe it's going to go to 145. That is what these hedge funds are thinking, and they write off these contracts. And when they're wrong, well, they have to pay that. They have to give you that money. But if shorting was not a thing, then the market would not function. It's impossible. It would be too volatile. Yeah, there you go. You perfect, man. Shorting isn't the issue. It's how they short. Yes, literally. Amen to that. It's how they short. It's the how we can speculate that naked shorting is happening in the market. That is a problem with how they have been able to bring these companies down to a penny. Naked shorting with shares that they don't have. It's the practice of manipulating a stock without having the shares, and just think about how immoral that is. Let's see. I think hedgies ran GME up after hours to raise option premiums. Yeah, it could be the case. Sometimes they do it on purpose, depending on how much equity margin, whatever, their threshold. If they think they can do it and they're able to take that risk, yes, they are going to do it, because think about how many people that don't know what's happening are actually buying these options. When you see a spike like that, and a bunch of people go in on options, literally on Fridays, because a lot of people have the mentality of like, oh, lotto tickets, here we go, GME spiked after hours, so I have to buy these options or whatever on Friday. And then you buy these options the day of. They keep all that premium and then short it because they can, because they know they have enough money. That is literally that is one way they're shorting on a micro level too. Here, specifically on this on the run up that we just had. That's one way they did it. Am I allowed to tell you my name or nickname? You can. I'll tell you my nickname. It's Abasai. I have a Spotify if you guys want to look into that. I have my artist page is on there. It's on my bio, I believe. I think I have a Spotify link. So I do have a separate hustle, I guess you can say. I've been doing music my whole life, so I do everything on there. Does GME follow the same pattern? Yeah, they're sympathy place. So, well, okay, something that you guys have to understand too is I hear a lot of people on Twitter saying like that this follows GME perfectly. That it will always follow GameStop. And yes, that is one way to look at it from like if people understand that there are two charts following each other basically to a T in the way that these movements happen, these like spikes, which are the most important, not when there's like a little bit of noise happening. I'm talking about these major spikes. And you see it happen with GameStop or BlackBerry or, these like overly shorted stocks. Obviously, like this is important for people to know, because you can see that, something's being manipulated in the way it is, right? Because every stock is typically going to follow the S&P 500, depending on how the market works. I always look at the S&P 500 as a way to determine how the day might look, but we're not going to follow it to a T, right? The patterns, the stocks that we will track, however, in very similar ways, are going to be the stocks that are being shorted, overly shorted. So yeah, GameStop, BB, like all those stocks, Bed Bath Beyond, We have costs, like all these, the same stocks that ran up back here and here. Yeah, I mean, options aren't for everybody. They are very risky. They're extremely risky. And, you know, some people learn the hard way with that. I was one of those people, man. I remember I didn't even know what options were at the beginning, and I was like, I don't want to get into that. That seems like a lot of work. It seems it's very complicated. There, you know, stuff like that. And then I kind of slowly started doing it, and then I got carried away with myself, and I did lose a lot of money doing that. And I feel you know, it's something that I felt bad for a while, but you know, you get burnt, you learn. Mr. Fumble, is it just the Fed and big institutions getting money out of crypto? That's not something I necessarily look into as far as how the system works on a more like federal level and government level. You know, that's been out there. That's out there about how that ties in with, you know, like reverse repo and like all this stuff that ties in with AMC or whatever. But that stuff also ties in just specifically with the market itself. And AMC and GameStop don't have to be the downfall of what's happening. It's just the problem is, like, when you see these meme stocks going up, obviously that causes volatility in the market because a lot of people go into these plays. And we saw it back here in June. We saw it back here in January. So that does cause a little bit of chaos in the market just in general. What up, Matthew? What up, Lance? What up, Mr. Fumble? What up, 333? All right. 154. Let's go. Have I ever thought about starting a Discord? At some point. I'm just kind of chilling right now, you know, doing the YouTube and Twitter. And, you know, at some point, if there's enough people that want me to do that and want to get a Discord together, then we can all jump in on that and talk in there. That'd be chill. Yes, I am in Central Time. Yeah, dude. I am. I'm a Central Timer. I post a lot of things on Eastern Time, though, just because I know it's the most common. Mr. Fumble. If I ever... Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, that's the whole thing, guys. You know, everybody in this chat, I mean, I appreciate every single one of you. And I appreciate everybody, participating, putting in their time to ask these questions, because... I mean, that's the point. That's the whole point of the movement. The movement is to come together, right? To understand what's happening. And everybody, the most important people in this are you guys. No, like nothing would happen without you guys. It wouldn't happen without the ability of people coming together and realizing what's happening. So, I mean, it's all for you guys, dude. All of it. Make sure you guys drop a little like. We can, you know, spread the word. Get this thing going, baby. So I'm originally from Illinois. Originally. I won't quite expose myself, though. But yeah, 22.93. Let's go intraday and see what's happening. Okay. See? This is a spike. And then they short us back down. So anybody who bought here, I'm sorry. I mean, it happens, guys. It happens. You know. It happens. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to move it. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. You're in Chicago? Hell yeah, dude. Trading with Midwesterns. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I really, guys, I really liked, I know right now just the situation itself is a little bit different, but I really enjoyed like going on Astro's live stream when he would, when he would stream, because like there's a bunch of people in that stream would just kind of talk to each other, bounce off of their ideas and stuff. So it would be, I mean, that would be awesome if like something like that could happen, where people have the same idea and just try and crack, what is happening. I'm going to show you guys something soon, at 2 o'clock. I'm going to show you because, and I'm going to be talking about this on my next video, but basically, if you guys are new to the stream, make sure you like it, because I do want people to understand what is going to happen here. Specifically going to talk about the January cycle. I went ahead and created a rough copy of what is the January cycle and how it leads to this June cycle here. So I want to make sure that people are aware of that. Oh yeah, no, you're good, Maddie. It's all good. You guys can, hey, I'm telling you, bro, this is like, it's like homework, bro. I'm gonna be just repeating myself over and over and over again. If you guys ask questions, I don't mind going over them. So you're fine, man. The pattern yesterday that we found, I said it was a unexpected volume in the cycle. So that's completely normal. When this happens, we go through what is a cycle shift. So the specific sessions that are happening will shift according to the volume coming in, since it's unexpected, right? Some institutions take this as an opportunity with algorithmic trading to cover some of the shares depending on the volume coming in, therefore not having to cover in the near future. So I was telling people that this has happened before, and this happened back here. This was Adam Aaron exercising options for AMC. So this wasn't supposed to happen in the cycle, but later you saw that reflected back here. If anything, they were waiting specifically for this moment. But there are multiple people that understand how the cycle works, so they're able to, prepare for that or sort of attack the system in a way. And because, hedge funds are against each other and stuff. Rico, what up, bro? What are you doing? Rico sent you here? Oh, what up, dude? What's up, baby? Dang, you guys are blowing up the chat up in this. What up? Rico, come over here, bro. Let's talk. Papi, come over here. Papi chulo. Bro, Rico's a handsome dude, man. For the record, I am I do have a girlfriend. I do been together for a minute. But yeah, my Rico, bro. My Rico. Oh my lord, bro, these guys. Are you guys spamming me, bro? Wait, Lou versus Wall Street was right. What's going on, man? Hey. Hey. Same dude. Wait, Rico, bro, where are you from? Like, what specific, like, did you say Argentina? Argentina, right? My dude, my dude. Rico is licking my chat. Bro, bring on the licks, baby. You're welcome. You're welcome to... Yeah, hit the like button, bro. What up? What up? Rico, Rico. Little Rico? I mean, sure, why not, man? I'm 24. I'm 24. Damn, you trying to raid me, bro? This guy raid. So everybody's here now, huh? You brought the whole you brought the whole squad. All right, okay. I mean, bro, if you're trying to get on Discord, get on, man. Let's do this. I mean, unless you want to chat in the chat, I can get on that with you. We gotta start a little squad, bro. Just call it like Poppies or something. So let's see. It's funny. I'm like trying to catch up on these, man. You guys are quick. Holy crap. Rico, are you still streaming, bro? Or like you just came in for a little bit? You're like, hey, dude, I'm just gonna go spam trading and like, what's up, dude? Trading with emotional papi chulos. Let's go. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Just watching. Okay, all right, bro. All right. Well, ask away, baby. Well, you know what, bro? The chat welcomes anybody. All right. Thank you for bringing your peeps here. They're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime, baby. Same with my chat, guys. Go give that Rico guy a sub. I'm sure you guys already know who he is. Rico the man. Rico the handsome papi. Team Poppies. That's hilarious. Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll start showing you guys what's the deal since you guys are all in this chat now. So, well, here's the cycle. Here's the nice 62-day cycle that we're currently tracking. Let's go ahead and bring the patterns back, right? All right, here we go. So a lot of people were asking yesterday why we had this spike, this unexpected spike that happened. And I kept mentioning, guys, that this is part of the cycle shift, okay? So these sessions that are happening are constantly shifting when unexpected volumes happen. So if we go back here to September 30th, and I said this like 3 times for anybody who hasn't like watched this yet, this is unexpected volume within the cycle. If we go here on a macro level on the 2-hour, you see that these patterns look nice, right? Because they're just a reflection of what's happening down here. But this one, well, it's not so pretty, right? That's normal. That's unexpected volume coming in. It's just going to shift the cycle. It's going to shift within the sessions that are happening. So what happened here was, as this volume is unexpectedly happening, it won't, typically in the near future, won't happen because these funds take the opportunity to cover when the spike happens, therefore shifting around the cycle. And that's completely normal. But if we come back here on the 30-minute, well, now we see that everything is tracking the same, bro. I mean, look at that. Down, sideways, up, down. Everything's still tracking, bro. Everything is still tracking. Down, sideways. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens on Monday. This is going to be extremely important. And I was telling the chat earlier, if this doesn't happen, this is why. This is why. It's the cycle shifting, guys. Yeah, you guys are all badass, man. Holy crap. The whole chat here is like lit. It's lit. Yo. Let's hear some TA. You want some TA, bro? Okay, well, I don't do much TA, but specifically just because I'm, tracking the cycle here. But I'll do a little bit of TA for you. Or at least why I think TA matters. Because TA matters for me when the technicals are ready, guys. Remember, that is when we either have to pass the projector, we have to check it off and succeed, or we fail that projector. That, for me, is when technicals matter. And I've said this in the past with the giant-ass flag that we were in for literally 6 months. So let's go ahead and take away these patterns real quick just to show you that. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm just going to pull up the chart. What am I doing? Yeah. Ooh. Colors. Okay, hold up, dude. What the heck's going on here? Man, all these cycles. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, you see this? This is why technicals matter. They matter on a psychological level, remember? Because if they are controlling the price with options and how they're constantly delta hedging their positions, well, they are building what is this giant technical flag. And once we get close to the projector and it decides that there's not enough volume coming in, according to the cycle, we fail that, we break out of the technical flag, and now we have to resort to something else. And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the next technical setup, which right now would be a double bottom or a wedge. So I would like to think it's a wedge just because from a fit perspective, speed line perspective, support, whatever you want to call it. You look back here. Sweet, this guy is, it's moving average. We got to go to the 1 hour. Here we go. Stick away the screen flag for a minute. There we go. So once we break out of this and establish support up here, and we start to get that uptrend, baby, we go into the moon. We go into the moon. Yeah, we're gonna. Rico said we're closing at 2350. I'm with him on that, man. I had it at 24, so he's probably gonna be a little bit closer than I was. Speak up. Oh my god, dude. Yo, is that better? Joe. Looking good heading into power hour. Yeah, bro. Bro, I love the sound of going to the moon. It will happen at the right time, okay? It'll happen when the technicals are ready and we're ready to get this baby going. So, are we expecting a run up? According to the June 21st option expiration dates, there are a lot in the money. So what I think is going to happen in the near future, at least, I just don't see us going down anymore, guys. I really want to wait for Monday, but I see us going to the upside in the short term. However, I don't see us quite like squeezing in the short term or anything like that, but I do see heavy volume coming up in the short term, at least before the January 2021 or 2022 expiration date. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to take this as reference. It's something you can look into, okay? So this pattern back here, if you look at March 19th, that was a major expiration date, okay, for all these options. There was a lot in the money. And what had to happen was, if we come back here for 2 weeks, so March 5th was a Friday. And that, technically, if you look at it from the same perspective, we would be here in March. We would currently be sitting on March 5th, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take March 5th, the end of March 5th, and I'm going to copy this 2 weeks ahead, right? We come back over here. This is what they do. They start covering these shares in that way. And this is what kind of blew my mind, guys. If we stretch this guy, because the same thing expires on the 21st. We put this here on Friday, 6th at 3. It's not perfect, okay? If you stretch this guy up, kind of looks like a, reflection of what's happening back here, which makes sense. And I'm not saying this is going to happen by all means. This is just me showing you what happened back in the day, right? Back over here when they had to cover those, however many shares were in the money. So this chart looks nice. I mean, you got your W here. They're bringing it up here to this specific price, and then at this point, it would kind of trade sideways back here, in my opinion, if this were to happen. However, guys, technicals can look nice and ready to go, and they don't have to play out in that way. We can have just a wedge pattern play out, and they can prolong this for a little bit more. So we don't know the margin requirements. We don't know anything like that. So it's all speculation. Now, if this were to happen, something else that we have to note is when you look at it from like a delta hedging perspective, the last, except December 17th, but the last, every 2 months, they have brought the price up to $40. So the only thing that has me kind of like on the hype side is that, well, we're able to bring the price up to that level with just the way the chart looks. If they brought it up to $40 for whatever reason, they might be screwing some short hedge funds here. But at this point, guys, we would have to start coming up like yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Omed, no one knows for sure, but when do you think this could squeeze? So I'm not going to give you specifically a 1 day date or anything like that. I am going to post soon though. However, I am going to post a multiple scenarios, basically a simulation of how the squeeze is going to happen. So I'm going to do that in the near future, and it's not to hype anybody I don't want you guys to base it off of that or anything, but I'm going to show you just so you guys have a little bit of a, a little bit of room to work with that, right? Yeah, I got you, dude. You guys want a little bit of background music? I get you. We're playing the Gorillas right now. What do I feel about the... So yeah, Lance, good question, man. Obviously, there's a lot more out of the money puts. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. There's a lot more out of the money calls. Okay, there's like 500,000 compared to in the money puts. So that's also something you have to look into. The premiums of what they sold those at. Obviously, they're gonna keep those once the options do expire. So that's something to note as well. That's something they can use to hedge their positions and bring this down even more. But I just don't. I don't see that happening, especially with also out of the money puts and then the pressure coming in. Guys, anything is possible as far as the price action. It's anything is possible. Look, if the projector really wanted to play out in that way down here, and we just for whatever reason went and squoze already or squeezed here late January, then the system is going to do that. Whatever. The thing is, the way I look at it is, once the technicals are ready, so once we create what is this projector pattern, we bounce off of support on the flag, then it's a little bit easier to make the assumption that we are going to go up. Right now, we're not quite there yet, in my opinion. If we did make the projector pattern, this is what I drew yesterday, and I'll show you guys this, because it's a possibility, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just a possibility. But if we took this specific pattern down here, created this, how they have to hedge their positions up here, then we can actually assume that, here, I'm going to show you guys something real quick, just so I don't get lost, sidetracked here. Okay, so here, how well can you guys see this? Okay, you guys can see it pretty well. Okay, so this right here, by the way, guys, if you saw my video on Twitter, I talk about the fast Fourier transform, and I just want to talk about that real quick, just so you guys know how I got this information, because I don't want to just tell you how I got this information without having proof. So I'm going to pull up the fast Fourier transform, and what the fast Fourier transform does is it decomposes a sequence, okay? So this is all over the place right now, so I'm going to take away some of these patterns. I'm going to leave these here. Decomposes a frequency, so it will, obviously your sequence is AMC, right? It takes sine waves, multiple sine waves, and basically deconstructs the frequencies according to the time frame. So here we have the 2-hour time frame, and we're looking at it from a 1024 bars pattern perspective. So every single bars pattern is 1, and this cycle will repeat itself. So watch this. Date range. From here to here is 10,024, right? To the power of 1, the real power of 1. What this is telling me is that where these spikes are happening, these specific spikes that are very much there that you can see, there's some sort of repeating happening. There's some sort of correlation happening with the math involved. So this is one way I was able to get the current cycle that I have. If you bring the cycle right here, and you take this pattern, and I'm sorry if this looks like all over the place, guys. I'm all over the place all the time. So if you take this pattern, right, this cycle pattern, and you flip it over, or you mirror it, back here, we're gonna do, shrink it up a little bit. It's the same as what the fast Fourier transform is telling me that is happening. So one way that I'm able to confirm that everything is happening in a frequency is with the fast Fourier transform. It's literally telling me that my cycle is inverted back here. And so if we take this back here, you guys know that the way the cycle works is that it plays out inverse according to the movements that are happening within each section. So one here, one here, one here, one here. And this is being repeated inverse because they are shorting it. This is being repeated inverse because they are covering. Shorting, covering. It's just the way the cycle works, guys. So we'll go ahead and now talk about what actually matters, because this is just the science behind that. Just wanted to sort of credit this, right? These patterns that keep on happening literally, guys, every 2 months, they are happening. They are here. Okay. I'm a messy man, so I'm sorry, guys. I know this looks all over the place. Okay, let's see. And I'm going to get to the questions in a little bit. I just want to cover this real quick. I'm not done with this. I am not done with this by any means, guys. But I was trying to basically crack the cycle that was happening down here. And this is based off of options too. I was trying to understand what was happening down here, because it's very important that when a cycle happens, it happens within that time frame, okay? Not a fractal that we can stretch. A very, very specific time frame. And I'm trying to understand what's happening down here. So if we take this specific pattern, which is the same thing as the cycle pattern down here, and we repeat it as many times as we can to align these specific ups and downs, right? Well, what we see is very similar movements as well, and you can tell that they're not quite lined up how I want them to be. This is why I'm still working on this. But once I figure that out, I'm going to post it. But this is just showing you basically the cycle that's happening back here in January, and how. And this is gonna blow your guys' mind real quick. Okay, so just if you haven't left a like, make sure you like this video, because we need to like make people understand like the corruption that's happening. And if the government or if like these institutions want to prove me wrong, I want them to prove me wrong. I want them to tell me why this doesn't work and why it's not effective. Okay? Remember, this is not financial advice, guys. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at and why it's been working for me, at least for the past 3 months. Okay? So this pattern right here is this pattern, right? Okay? Same pattern, right? So we take the same ratio. We haven't changed the ratio. We transfer it over back here, and now we have the projector pattern, okay? So the run-up has always been the projector, and I said this before on the video. This is always a reflection. The projector is always going to be a reflection of the squeeze or the run-up, because it's what's telling the algorithm yes or no, constantly. So this pattern is going to be repeating itself throughout the cycle multiple times, always checking it to make sure if there's enough volume, if there's enough margin requirements, the threshold's good, blah, blah, blah. And then this is where the technicals come in, because once the technicals are ready, the algorithm is likely to fail in that sense. Okay? So that's important to note. This is important to note because if you have your own cycle happening back here, well, how can we use this information to basically, this overlaps, this specific pattern right here, watch this, overlaps with what is when the cycle started. So if this has 4 cycles and then a new cycle, and this has 4 cycles, and then there's a new cycle happening, well, this is why it's important that we wait to see what's going to happen right here. Because there is just so much that needs to happen within the next week so that we could set up for the future. Okay, so this is why I've been waiting, guys, for this moment. But the projector is found here, right? And the projector is coming up. For this cycle, the projector is coming up. The way this overlaps is, well, we have this pattern right here. And I appreciate, guys, the love in the chat, all right? You guys are dope. So let's go ahead and take this right here. Okay, for those of you who don't know and haven't been in the chat, I want to show you something real quick. You're probably asking, how is this even the reflection of the run-up, right? Well, all we got to do is take this pattern and stretch it out. Watch. Bam. Reflection. Reflection of the run-up. And this is proven to work throughout the entire chart because the blue pattern, literally, this is the same thing. It's in its own way structured to be repeated throughout the entire chart, inverse or identical. Okay? So once, like after I was making this specific cycle that was happening back here, I was like, okay, well, how can I use this information to help me, I guess, better make a good judgment in the scenarios that I am going to post? Because the scenarios that I'm going to post are going to be specifically based off of the cycle, specifically based off of the time frame in the cycle, and how the technicals would align to make this work, because the technicals have to be ready. They have to be set. Yeah, and you're right. It's funny how the projection falls. Yes, because all of these specific patterns will always align and they will shift according to option expiration dates. That is how they're able to manipulate people into buying these and then shorting it so that they collect a premium right away. Remember how they brought this up to 77 and then back here sold the 145s? Well, a bunch of people bought those, and they bought them down here too because they thought the squeeze wasn't over. But then they kept the price at 55 for the rest of the, months after that. And they kept all that premium and shorted it even more, and people kept buying because they thought the squeeze wasn't over. And they used the ultimate flag, which is the easiest way to trick people into buying these options, which is like the scariest thing, because they're keeping all these premiums, guys. They're keeping all the premiums. Once the flag closes, they'll keep it at $40, continue to keep it at $40. And I mean, it's just a nasty game. It's so unfair and nasty. Yeah, guys. Of course. Hey, I appreciate my guy Rico, man. I mean, hopefully at some point me and him go planning on doing a little game session. So maybe we'll do I don't know, some Apex or Halo or something. Just kind of talk stocks and stuff. It'd be cool. I mean, honestly, guys, once this thing starts to go down, it'd be cool to get a sort of movement. And I would love to do this with Astro as well. Like when he had, the whole squad just talking and stuff on that is such a good movement, guys. The hype is what we need. We need to come together and realize that this shit that's happening, man, like, it's got to change. We need the hype for it. We need that love. We need to spread that energy. How does one figure all this out? Bro, I've been, so there's a lot of things that you need to basically construct this. I started doing pattern recognition, and me and my brother created this program. We created a program that's able to find patterns within a sequence. So the fast Fourier transform is good at spotting the frequencies that don't align well, and basically telling me that there's an error found within the cycle. There's an error found within this time frame. The pattern recognition tool that we uses something called the matrix profile, which is a system that uses, like, I'm not trying to get super like statistical here and like scientific, but like it uses something like correlation coefficients and stuff like that to extract the same ratio patterns found on a larger scale. So if, for example, this is a great example right here. This pattern that we found here on the 30-minute time frame, which is the green pattern, and is found up here, even though the price is different, right? The ratio is the same, and that's what matters. It's the fact that the ratio doesn't change. It's the price. I mean, clearly the price is different, but when you stretch this out, just the height, the ratio stays the same, and that's what's important. These patterns are able to find that out for me throughout the entire chart. Normally, people would maybe not pay as much attention to that, just because if you really compare the blue pattern to the rest of the blue patterns found within the cycle, well, they don't have the same height, so they don't look the same. They only look the same once you change the height of that pattern. My confidence level on the squeeze, yeah, man, my confidence level has been 1,000%. My conviction has not changed, guys. The reason I'm doing this is because I still believe that things are going to go down the way they do, you know? I do have a first name, but I don't want to. If you guys like, people keep asking me like, "What's your first name? Like what? Like who are you, bro?" I have a Spotify on my YouTube. On this link, if you open it up, there's a Spotify link. I go by Abasai. That's my middle name, and I have all my stuff, basically all my stuff on there. So if you guys want to look into that, go right ahead, man. I post, that's more of an artist page. I post, those are other songs and stuff. But it's separate to the whole trading with emotions, I guess, project that I have going on. But at some point, I am going to be posting like those songs too. I'm coming out with a little AMC album. Yeah, I've been told that. I was like, yo, yo, yo. I don't know. People think that I sound like Dave. And he, like, the other day, like, he messaged me or he DM'd me on Twitter, and we were talking about the Doge pattern that came up. Yeah, I don't know, he was just like talking about that. And I was like, dude, I mean, I should have brought it up. I was like, bro, like we got to do like a little duet or something. Cause like a bunch of people think that I sound like you. A bunch of people think I am you. And I'm like, we got to clear that up, man. I sound like Dave speaking slightly softer. Maybe. I feel like I'm loud, man. I don't know. I love Dave though, man. Like Dave's my dude. Love that guy. Yeah, I'm originally from Chicago. Yes. Originally from Chicago. Oh my god, dude, you want to know my social? Damn. Okay. Well, you got pen and paper, baby? Am I gonna start swearing? So I don't like. Maybe not like right now specifically, but like yeah, I mean I do in all my videos. It's just I don't really know how the system works here on YouTube. I don't know. Do you get strikes and stuff for like swearing? That's what I've been told at least. Like if you swear, you get strikes. So I try not to swear on live stream. I do sometimes though. Matthew, that good one, man. My first pet's name was no, I'm definitely not gonna say that. Definitely not gonna say that. This guy, love it. It's to be monetized. I am not currently monetized. Not currently monetized. Dang, look at this guy. That's hilarious. Oh my lord. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see? Let me know in the chat. I'll pull up anything. Just AMC related though. All right, I'm not gonna stray away from that. All my videos have to do with AMC, and they're always gonna do something with AMC. If it doesn't have to do anything with AMC, I'm not gonna touch it. All right. So the projector pattern is here. I don't know why this isn't. Maybe this one specifically doesn't have it, but let me go ahead and just line this guy up over here real quick. I have to see here. Because, yeah, so it is coming up. The previous projector pattern is coming up. But that doesn't mean that we're going to see the projector pattern happen. It just means that, because typically when the projector pattern comes up, the cycle doesn't necessarily follow this specific pattern. Most of the patterns being followed, the ones you can clearly see, are the ones that I've highlighted here. And as the patterns are happening, I'm learning more and more as to how the cycle works. But one thing is for sure, guys. One thing is 1000% sure, and that is that blue pattern. It's the most accurate pattern within the whole cycle. And that's the only reason why I have the cycle the way it is. It's because of this blue pattern. Probably, let's see. It's 2:39. I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer me go intraday, or do you guys want me to just chill on this larger scale? I mean, you guys are probably having dual screens looking at Weeble constantly, you know. I use Weeble for intraday stuff because I can see it a little bit better. But I'm just, right now, typically when I go live, I try and do as much analysis on the cycle as I can just to spread that, you know, spread awareness. Intraday? Neil, you want intraday? I mean, we can go intraday. I just, like, honestly, man, TradingView is not the best for intraday, in my opinion. But we're going to do it anyways. Let's get these patterns out the way, these ugly-ass patterns. So, intraday. Ha. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I know that I think Extreme Gains is the guy who typically likes to look at things more on a intraday sort of level, and then he almost looks at it as a something that is good to note with the way that he kind of looks at things is on a larger scale level using intraday cycles that are happening, which is something that I don't use anymore. I don't use that method specifically on the way things are happening with my channel, just because the cycle specifically on a macro level is a good way that I'm determining the price action. So I'm going to stick with that until it fails me. But this is kind of cool because you can actually take this pattern right here, this specific pattern, and stretch it out. This would be a fractal, by the way, guys. And I don't, like I said, I don't do fractals, but it's kind of cool when you take this specific pattern and you're able to sort of find it on a macro level, because you go back here on the 1 hour, and I mean, yeah, you can technically say that. I mean, it's funny. It's funny because, like, you find these all over the place. You can't even deny it at this point that these just by looking at them, guys. And I know AMC so well that just by looking at specific patterns, I'm able to sort of like understand that, okay, like this is on a macro level, it looks the same. But this is not a way that I'm able to predict what's going to happen in the future, because there are so many intraday patterns happening that you can see are happening on a good level. But they fail you, man, because on the minute chart, on the 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, whatever, my cycle, the cycle that I have here, is not going to be perfect either, right? Even though this is following a similar structure in the way these patterns are going up and down, on an intraday basis, they're not going to look the same. They're going to look very different. That's why I use the 30-minute and the hour when I'm doing these patterns, because they will play out more likely on a macro level. Boom, boom, boom. What up? Anybody in the chat, guys? If you've just joined, make sure you leave a like and sub. I got some music coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. Try and get this album out, right? Neil, what's Neil saying? I'm 24 years old and I have a 9 next years. I want to be a millionaire. Ooh, look at you, man. Look at you go. Look at you go, man. That's the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is to just expose the hell out of this corrupt system, right? And just, it's not fair, dude. The system is not fair. Let's see. Sorry if I move a lot, guys, on the chat. I'm a little hyperactive, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, man. That's it's the passion. I like to use music with it just because it's my passion. Nothing in particular. I've been doing music my whole life, so I just like to incorporate that into patterns because, well, I also like patterns, man. I like patterns. I like music. I like it all. Am I a full-time stock market? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a full-time gig for me. Full-time. It's not to like about the stock market, right? No, not. I don't see it going down anymore, honestly. But anything could happen, man. I always give a bearish scenario. I always give a bullish scenario. I always give a neutral scenario, and I like to go a little bit extreme with the bearish and the bullish, just because with AMC we have seen that happen over and over again. The fact that these patterns are extreme, right, to the downside or the upside. And, well, you never know, man. You never know in the market. Sometimes things just go unexpectedly, and there's no way to control it. Yeah, honestly, guys, if you have any ideas for a song, drop them down below, and I'll do my best. I try and get... I do a lot whenever I'm not working. I like to jam, obviously. I like to just make these jams, and I'll store them away and come back to them. And then at some point, I just add lyrics to them and then create the overall graphics, production, and then push it out, right? So I have a little storage unit, you know? Rico swears every other... Wait, Rico swears every other sentence and he's good. Okay. All right, well then I'll start swearing for you. And then if I get kicked out, buddy, I'm gonna be a little pissed off, all right? All right, guys. So let's look at the fucking patterns here real quick. These shitty looking patterns down here. Let's change the song. It's a little bit sad. It's my Go band. MGMT. Arctic Monkeys. Starfucker. Ariel Pink. Gorillaz. Oxygen. Hers. The Last Shadow Puppets. Natalia Lafourcade. I love Natalia. Here, I'm going to play her real quick for you. That's very true, Matt. That's very true. It was more of a joke, more of a sarcasm when I'm doing that. I don't typically. I like to swear when if I'm hyping something up. Like if I feel really passionate about something, I will swear. Mr. Fumble, thank you, man. Hey, Matthew, thank you. Appreciate you, dude, for joining. I was trying to finish this specific part of the cycle back here. All right, I'm going to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions, just throw them down below for now, just because we're about to finish the day here. Tonight, I will be on until 3:15, so 30 more minutes, and then I'm going to dip. If it's following red, would there be any more downside? So no, remember, the red pattern right now that it's currently tracking, so it played out inverse in, sorry, let's get these out of the way. So this specific pattern, man, right here. Watch this. I'm gonna keep saying this, guys, because I know some people are just joining the chat, and it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair to them. But the yellow pattern is on Twitter. I posted this. I said that the yellow pattern is unexpected volume that normally happens. It happens with news. So this happened with news. Back here, it happened with news, and it disrupts the cycle, but it shifts. It shifts along with it, so it's completely normal. It's been tracking to a T. The red pattern has been tracking to a T, and it's still tracking to a T. So we have to wait to see what's going to happen here on Monday. And I had said, if this tracks identical, then that's great. We're probably going to go up, and then this is a noisy part within the cycle. So here it doesn't tend to follow it to a T. It's only the patterns that you see that are very drastic in the change, right? So these upward movements and downward movements that you can clearly see, that is what you have to pay more attention to in the pattern on the cycle. Yeah, my music taste, Arctic Monkeys. Yeah, man. I love Arctic Monkeys. Seen them live like 5 times. Love those guys. Dude, I don't think we're going to see 17. But like I said, guys, if for whatever reason this starts tracking inverse, we might be able to get that. I mean, here's a possibility. I'm just going to show you because, well, I'm trying to be as transparent and real as possible. So if we do get that, if we do get a sort of dip next week, because that's apparently what everybody is scared or about. But obviously, guys, if this is part of the algorithm and it wants to do this because it can, then it would look something like that, okay? And then if it did that, we would bounce back really quickly. And I really do think this would be the end. I don't think there would be any more downside. This has dipped already 3 times. And back here, this was a strong, for it to be a news catalyst, that was probably put here on purpose. This would be a really almost ignorant to the cycle. The fact that it did this, sometimes the cycle wants retail to go long too. So this is why I think that we might just be done. We might be done going down for a little while. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. Monday is very important. So stay tuned for that in the cycle. Monday is extremely important. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I mean, it's looking like we might actually close the week at 23. Yeah, I know everybody's probably watching that, so we're gonna go ahead and put the 1 minute on. People want to see the closing. We'll kind of focus here on the next 5 minutes, see what happens. Alrighty. Thank you, Sub the Boss. If you guys want to hear this playlist, it's on my Spotify. Yeah. Brought it up. I don't know. By the looks of it, typically when we get so close, this is a psychological game, guys, by the way. Them keeping this price at $22.98, that's completely psychological. When this happens, in my opinion, what I think is going on is, well, they either want to create hype or they want to take away the hype as far as closing in right on the money. So if it's going to be like, if we close in at 23.01, people like go crazy over that, right? Like, oh yeah, we closed at 23.01, we beat them, or you know, or we don't, we close at 22.98 or 99, and that's a way to motivate people to feel bad or feel good. So yeah, I'll be answering a couple of questions after market closes. But thank you guys for joining, and love Rico, man. Thank you, my guy. I know you're probably not in the chat anymore, but thank you for spreading the love, man. Yeah, of course, man. Of course, Andrew. Love you, man. Yeah. You guys are always welcome here, man. Just trying to chill, you know. Look at the cycle, look at AMC, have some fun. I'm not gonna stray away from AMC, guys. That's the goal. And the goal right now for this channel, the ultimate goal, is to stay on AMC and until everything happens. Okay, like once the squeeze happens, and I'm not saying that in a way where I'm like confirming anything, like Brett, not financial advice, but like we're waiting for that upward pressure and the setup and everything. And once this is all over, obviously I'll turn and sort of study just the market itself and cycles and stuff like that, just with everything else. But if it doesn't relate to AMC, I'm not going to cover it. Everything here is going to be specifically AMC related. So the Doge thing that I posted, that was relating to AMC. That had to do everything to do with AMC. So anything that can help me with AMC, I'm going to post about it. We got 4 minutes, guys. Are we gonna get 23? Let's pump the music a little bit, guys. Are we gonna get 23 or not? Yeah, fire in the chat, guys. Let's go. Let's do it. I wonder if we're gonna get 23. Let's see what's going to happen. Hey. Yeah. Bring the rockets in the chat, guys. Come on. There we go. It's getting close, man. It's getting close. Oh, this is where I swear? Alright. It's going down. It's going fucking down, guys. It is going fucking down. Let's go. Rockets, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I'll help you guys out. Help you guys out here with the rockets. Out the rockets real quick. Hey, million rockets to the moon, baby. Boom. All right, for the last 2 minutes, I'm just gonna play one song. This will be my hype song for the rest for AMC, guys. Rockets in the chat. Let's go. Are we gonna close? 23. Let's go. We got a minute, baby. It's getting close, baby. It's getting close. Woo! Oh. Where do we close at? That was fun. I don't know. What did we close at? $22.99. See, okay. So, I mean, it's fun. It really is fun hyping that up, guys. It really is. It's dope. The thing is, like, remember the whole psychology thing with this. If they keep us under $22.99 for whatever reason, it's like, well, goddamn, man, like we didn't close at 23. What the heck? One can only hope, guys. It goes both ways. Oh, 23.11. Okay, we did it. All right, 23.11. So this is the thing. We close over 23.11, and this all has to do, guys. This all has to do with the whole psychology thing. So sometimes it is in your favor, though, because the algorithm sometimes wants you and expects retail to come in at some point to help the volume increase in that way. So remember, these large institutions are fighting other large institutions. So note right here, guys, the yellow pattern. Very, very important with that. So always consider, when we get these specific closing times at that level, that other institutions might be coming in to fight the system as well, especially the long institutions. So nice. 20. So yeah, I'm showing $22.99 on mine on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm showing $22.99, but if it isn't, if they change it for whatever reason, then we'll see. But if not, guys, then it's I'm telling you, man, this is like a manipulation tactic that they use for emotions. Very, very crappy, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so always going to be the hype song, guys. Whenever we start going up, I'm going to be playing this song. It's like the most hype song that I know. Oh, yeah, baby. All right, guys, ask away. I got 15 minutes, and I do got to go, unfortunately. But if you guys want to ask any last-minute questions, go right ahead, and I'll do my best to do it under 15 minutes. We're going to play some Luis Miguel. My guy, Luis Miguel. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. If we did, mine is showing $22.99. So there might have been some options that they were trying to also keep under that price. It all has to do with options in the end. Options, emotions, analysis are very important with the cycle. Are we going up now? What's the price? We're trading, I think we're trading at like 22 something right now. Or yeah, 22.90 something. Oh yeah. I'm gonna try and go way back and see what people are asking just to answer some of those. Trying to mix it up here. Okay. Hey. All right, guys. Well, I mean, it seems like everybody's leaving. Okay. I guess 3 o'clock is that time, right? Thank you guys for being here. You're always welcome. Love you guys. Everybody dope. I guess I'm still going to stay on. I'll stay on for another 10 minutes. Whoever wants to just ask, man, I'll be here. But yeah, thank you guys for coming, and it was fun, man. Everybody who's dipping out, love you guys. You guys are dope. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sub the Boss. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sheesh. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Questions? Let's see. Thoughts on the upcoming Death Cross and movements for next week? I mean, yeah, that goes with the technicals, man. And it's very likely that if that does cross, that it will cause some sort of pressure to the upside just on a technical perspective. And that is, remember, that is calculated as well through the cycle. So the cycle is able to predict basically these specific movements that are happening, whether it has to do with the death cross or just the way the cycle or the analysis is set up to do its thing, right? And in my opinion, it's very likely that we do see that upward pressure just because we're in this sort of W pattern. So it's something to note, man, for sure. Thank you, W Black. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. What's the next move? Again, we do have a spike coming up on Monday. So what I had said, and I'm going to say this again just to make sure everybody knows. I'm going to keep saying it, but this yellow pattern back here is unexpected volume, guys. So when this happens, the shifting occurs within the cycle, and that's very important because once shifting occurs, sometimes these will get deleted, and they get deleted because the covering happened back here because of that specific catalyst or that specific event, where they're able to almost like shoot up these shares so the public knows that they're covering or to that specific exchange, and then they will short it in the dark pool so that nobody sees what's happening in that. So it's like an opportunity to shift the cycle, the session that's happening. Fractal, yeah, came at no problem. Pip Ray, yeah, man, always here for the music. Always gonna try and make a nice playlist, chill, hype whenever it needs to be. Hell yeah. Is fractal identification possible with human intervention, or could it be made automated? So remember, like the unexpected, when the unexpected happens is when the algorithm can't inflict this volume anymore, therefore creating this projector pattern. And once that projector pattern fails, then we, retail, come in and we help push the price up. But this is where hedge funds are still manipulating it if they can. And they're inflicting this volume that happened according to the option expiration date. So that's why they look very much the same. But it's possible to find the specific cycle patterns with, like if you look into the fast Fourier transform, if you look into time series, stuff like that. I am going to be, at some point, I'm going to be showing you guys the tool that I use. I want to polish it with my brother because he's a software engineer, so he codes, he does all that stuff, and he helps me out a lot with this stuff. So he's the man behind the actual code. But we also use in Python, you're able to use these specific algorithms that are taking these calculations and data on a very, very large scale and running these basically artificial intelligence that is just constantly running these numbers, making sure that everything that you scan is like to a T exact. So at some point when we polish that and the program is good to go, I will be able to show you exactly how it works, how I found these patterns, how I found the blue pattern, the green pattern, everything. I'll be able to show you that. Get a little by understanding this was happening all over the market. Hey Mike, how you doing, man? Hey Mike, I appreciate you, dude. I always see you're on Twitter, you commenting and stuff. I appreciate you, man. It seems like retail can get a leg up by understanding where this was happening all over the market. Yeah, I mean that's what I've been trying to sort of like, and I genuinely want people to like ask away and like sort of crack this with me. And if you see that I'm wrong, wherever it is that you see that, I want to be able to polish this to a T, like where it's not incorrect in that way, because everything is happening in what I call fashion, right? It's repeating itself exactly 2 months apart in the way these movements happen. So I just need somebody to prove me wrong there so that we can come to a middle ground, right? I'm genuinely trying to spread like positivity, guys, and awareness with this stuff happening. And I'm very clear about not giving predictions because I don't want people to be losing money and stuff based off of the predictions that I give, or not the predictions that I'm giving out, the scenarios even that I give out. I want people to be able to understand the scenarios and then make their own judgment based off of what they're looking at, because it's very helpful at the end of the day. It's very helpful to have somebody show you what's happening from their perspective, and then you're able to understand that from your own perspective and then make your own decisions, right? But me and my brother starting a business, we've talked about it, man. We've talked about possibly sharing this with the world, and that'd be cool. That'd be cool if like we had a program that everybody could use, right? And scan charts and patterns and stuff and the way they repeat themselves. That would be awesome. I don't know the legality of it yet. As far as like selling something like that, I don't think I would. I think I would just provide it for anybody to use, but I have to look at it from a legal perspective. Is I wouldn't want to sell this or any. I would just want to literally put it out there and have you guys access it, and that's it, just for free, everybody to use for free. And the goal right now is figuring out the legality of it, and then once we figure that out, we'll polish it and put it out. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, man. How can retail stop this and MOAS? How can retail stop this and MOAS if they're in control? So remember, they're only in control when they can be in control, when the threshold has not been passed. Once the threshold passes, and that's exactly what happens in the projector. Projector will repeat itself whenever it wants to throughout the chart. You will see it in many different ways, and sometimes overlapping with certain patterns. One can say that maybe this was a projector, or that maybe this was a projector. But typically, the projector will perform very specifically according to the technicals. That's why this one was very important, because it was basically closing away from what was the previous flag. And it bounced off of that support and then rejected that. So we went to the downside instead of going up. So we have to wait for the next setup. I don't know, like, guys, I don't know the legality of it, man, so I don't want to, I'm not trying to get in trouble or anything. The whole point is to understand because think about it, like, if TradingView is able to provide all of these indicators that people are writing, why can't I create my own indicator, right, and post it? If I came up with that specific code, those calculations, and it's working for me, why can't I post that? So I'm just looking into that. I don't think it's illegal or anything. It's my findings. This is something that it's not that it's my findings. The fast Fourier has always been there. The pattern recognition has always been there, but it's applying it in a way that works with stocks. That is the difference. A lot of people have been using this, guys. The pattern recognition has always been a thing, even for stocks. But when it really helps is when the manipulation is clear with a stock like AMC, and I think that's kind of coming to light. People are bringing that back, and maybe in the past it wasn't as useful because nobody knew about manipulation, nobody knew about synthetic shares, naked shorting, all this stuff. Nobody knew about it, and now people are catching up to it. So it's like, well, maybe this is going to help. This is going to help with just AMC or in the future. Alrighty, guys, I am going to leave the stream now. I appreciate everybody who joined. You guys are always welcome back. Thank you for chilling with us and listening to some dope music, hype music, whatever. You guys are dope. I love you, and I'll be posting a video on Sunday and hopefully a song on Monday. So I'm working on that right now, and you guys are always welcome back. All right. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a nice weekend. Love you guys. Peace out. Go together in flight.